Welcome to QCC's Face the Region. Face the Region is produced by Quinsigamond Community College to assist our region in attaining educational, economic, and personal prosperity. Now, here's your host, WCRN's Hank Stoltz.
Good afternoon, I'm Hank Stoltz, and this is QCC's Face the Region on News and Talk Radio AM 830 WCRN. Today we're going to be talking about Veteran Services. Helping us in that conversation is Paula Ogden. She's the Director of Veteran Affairs. Also, Amber Sullivan is with us, veteran and work-study student, and Seth Mix, a veteran and Affairs Clerical Support student as well. And Seth, you're also the president?
That's correct.
President of
the Veterans Club here on campus.
The Veterans Club here on campus. Paul, I'm going to start with you, although I do want to talk about that Veterans Club for a moment as well, and thank you all for your services as well. But Paul, why don't you give us an overview as the Director of Veteran Affairs about what exactly Veterans Affairs does on the QCC campus?
Okay, we try to provide veterans a one-stop shop, meaning they can come to our office and they don't have to run around to all the different departments. If we don't know the answer, then we would know who to direct them to. But vets come to our office to find out about their benefits they would receive through the GI Bill. We help them that way. We help them apply for financial aid and get financial aid if they qualify. We can help them, advise them of their classes. We can help them with the registration process, with the admissions process. We can hook them up with disability services. So anything that the veteran would need, we provide the service.
Now, I'm taking a look at Amber and Seth across from us, fairly young. So I'm guessing, though, that there are people who come in 20-year veterans, people in their 40s, 50s, all ages that you probably get.
Absolutely. Our oldest vet is a Vietnam vet.
Okay. Does that make any kind of a difference in the way that the services are?
No. We provide services. Even if a veteran doesn't use any of their GI Bill benefits, they might not have any left, we still provide the same service.
All right, so walk me through the process, if you would. I've just gotten out of the Army. I want to come to QCC. I want to train, or just general education, and I come walking into your office. What's the first thing that happens when I sit down?
Well, we welcome them, thank them for their service, see what branch of the service they served in, and try to make them feel comfortable. We want to see if this is the first time on campus, if they visited admissions yet, or if they did admissions application. We talk about their GI benefits. Some students know what benefits they qualify, others do not. So we will guide them on how to apply, go through the whole GI process and how to apply for their VA benefits. We talk about career paths, what they might be interested in. Some students know exactly what they want, others really aren't sure. A lot of times we will walk them up to the admissions office to do an actual application if they want to talk to an admissions counselor and go more into detail about, gee, I'm not sure if this program. When they're in our office, we talk about all the services that we offer, how they can come to our office and throughout their time at QCC, what we will give them. We talk about the Vets Club and everything that the club does and try to get them involved that way. And we show them around because right now we have 2 locations on 2 floors in the main administration building. So we walk them down and show them the 2 floors, and you can get services in both offices. And just try to make them feel comfortable. And we ask them about their family and so forth. And just.
Seth, it seems like this is a good lead-in then to the Veterans Club, and you are, again, the president of the Veterans Club. Tell us a little bit about it, and I'd like to hear, why don't we start here, your own experience of coming to QCC and going and walking into the office and meeting the people from Veterans Affairs at QCC.
Sure. Well, it started off last summer. I had just gotten out of the Army, and, really wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to do in my adult life yet, and I figured going to school for something would be a good way to start that. Came here because, everybody that you go to high school with starts off at Quinsig in the area because, it's cheap, it's a good way to get your prereqs out of the way, and that stuck with me in my head, and decided to come down here, and in my experience, service members, while they're in, are usually treated as just a number, because so many people have to deal with them on a daily basis. If you go through any kind of like medical processing on base or anything, nobody really cares. You're just, okay, take next number, please step forward kind of thing. But as soon as I got here, I walked in, someone stood up, said, hey, can I help you? Yeah, I'm looking to go to school here. Walked me through the whole thing, basically did everything Paul had just talked about, asked where I wanted to go from here, gave me ideas in case I didn't have any, which I didn't. Still working on them, to be honest. Yeah, and they created a really nice, homely experience within this administrative world, you know.
So let me ask you, just even based on what you just said and based on your experience in the Army as well, so you come to QCC and there's when you first walk in and you're not being treated like a number. Has that continued? So they get you started on that path. Are there services that you are able to access? Are there things that you are able to access at Veterans Affairs all along and you'll be able to access over the next 2 years or however long you decide to stay here at QCC?
Oh, absolutely. Very much so. I mean, the whole atmosphere of it is meant to be a please come in anytime and tell us how you're doing, talk to us about your problems kind of thing. It's, you know, especially the upstairs office has been like the impromptu vet center. That, you know, come in, have a coffee, come in, Paul will usually on a weekly basis bring in some kind of fatty, sweet treat that she tries to put in everyone's face. You
awesome.
know, very,
yes.
very nice, very motherly.
I can't beat that. All right, so you go walking into the office, as you said, sort of an impromptu center gathering place for the veterans on campus. Are there a lot of veterans on campus?
There's 200 and some change. I don't remember
really?
the exact number, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Boy, that's even more than I thought. And as you said, probably a lot of them have had the same experience that you have. So there's something that is common among you right from the start.
Yeah, yeah. And I honestly tried to take that in when I started working here as well in the department because, you know, if that was able to make me have a great college experience so far, why not start moving it forward?
All right, we're going to talk a little bit about your job. We're going to straight ahead get into what the president of the club, of the Veterans Club here at Worcester, some of your duties, and we'll get to meet Amber Sullivan as well. That's all on the way on News and Talk Radio, AM 830 WCRN. I'm Hank Stoltz. QCC's of Face the Region continues on News and Talk Radio, AM 830 WCRN. We're talking about Veteran Services today. Paula Ogden is with us. She's the Director of Veterans Affairs. Amber Sullivan, a veteran and work-study student, with us as well. We've been talking with Seth Mix, who is a veteran. He's working here as well as being a student at QCC, but he is also the president of the Veterans Club. Tell us a little bit about that, Seth. As you said, about 250 students who are veterans here at QCC. Impromptu, you guys have got a couple of floors. You've got Paula's office that you're at. Grab a cup of coffee, maybe get a donut or something as well. The Veterans Club, I'm guessing, is probably a little more structured, where you have some events that are planned throughout this semester.
Right. Realistically, there's only about 20 veterans out of that 250 some odd numbers that actually participate religiously, which, you know, club-wise, that's still a decent number of people that want to come out and do things. And the environment I really wanted to create with the Veterans Club was basically exactly what I needed at the time, was trying to find a home outside of being in the Army, because, you know, that my whole way of thinking was completely changed from being in, and so being back in the civilian world, I couldn't really relate to people my age anymore. I couldn't.
Different experiences that you've been through than what they have been through. And that Army certainly would have provided the family as well. It seems in some ways, though, and I guess I had mentioned this earlier, that QCC can kind of replicate that. The Veterans Club, it sounds like you're trying to replicate that even more among the members of the club. You have 20 core members, but when you do events, I'm sure that sometimes you'll have even more who will show up.
Yeah, there's depending on the event, we'll definitely have a little bit of sway on either side of the numbers.
Is that something that you're working on? You want to get that number up over that 20 core members?
I think it will definitely go up a lot higher once we have one singular location to come find us at. All
right, we're going to talk about that in a moment, because there's a grand opening that is coming up that is very, very exciting. What are some of the Veterans Club, what are some of the events that you have?
Past or
upcoming? just to give people a little bit of an idea. They come, they're a veteran, they come to QCC, they decide that they're going to get involved in the Veterans Club. What would be some of the ways that they would be able to meet other veterans and some of the club activities?
Well, two of the main forks that we did was we do a lot of fundraising. We did a lot of like fundraising, community service, and then fun events for the veterans. So the community service was just, you know, giving back to the guys that are less fortunate than how we ended up. We've served in soup kitchens. We actually had like a drive for Christmas cards that we ended up bringing to a hospital in Worcester for a group of veterans. And we've had museum trips to like Battleship Cove out in Fall River, and we've had different meetings.
Well, that's
all over
terrific.
the
So
place.
a lot of different activities
Yeah.
that are going on. All right, we'll slide the microphone over. We'll meet Amber Sullivan, who is a veteran and also a work study student. Amber, why don't you tell us a little bit about your experience coming to QCC as a veteran?
All right. Let's see. I was a 14-year veteran, so it was a little bit different for me because I wasn't going to get connected with the kids anyway because I was so much older. I went to Worcester State initially when I got out. I think what Paula had established here, honestly, we've got a mentor program here. That's a big thing for, hey, come talk to another student that's a veteran. Let me help you with the problems that you might be having with your professors, with the school, whatever. That was a huge thing. And then just Paula herself, she reaches out to us on a different level. We're not just students, we're family. We really are.
You know, and Seth was mentioning that too, just the whole way that you can drop into the office. Now, are you involved in the Veterans Club as well?
I am to an extent.
Yeah, see. Well, you're going to have to start becoming a little bit more. We're going to get you a little bit more involved in there. Tell me a little bit about the work study, because that seems to be part of where we began as well. That Paula was talking about all the different ways in which there are programs specifically targeted towards veterans that can help you with your experience. Is the work study one? Is it a different work study for veterans than it is for students?
Well, our work study is specifically working with the veterans doing their paperwork.
I see. Gotcha. Okay.
So honestly, it's more helpful than any other work study because we get that in-depth knowledge of how Veterans Affairs works, how the paperwork, all the red tape. We learn how to navigate that and help others.
Well, and the fact that you were in for 14 years, they have that connection, and you're obviously interested in making sure that they get other veterans are getting the best possible deal as well. What branch of the service were you in?
Navy.
In the Navy. All right. You came to QCC. Seth said that he was still kind of searching for what it was that he was going to do. 14 years in, so you really had a whole career before you came here. What was it that you did in the Navy, and are you carrying some of that over here at QCC?
I was a meteorologist in the Navy.
No kidding.
Actually. And I came to QCC for their nursing program.
Huh.
So I'm kind of 180 out.
Yeah. So it really is. So it is a complete change. Are you also spending a couple of years here? Was price the fact that inexpensive, get some of these core requirements out of the way, or you're going to spend? I mean, QCC nursing program. Boy, some great programs with like Elms. Is it Elms College? I believe that they have, and others. Are you spending? Are you going to be able to get a certificate here? What's your future look like?
Well, initially I came here for their nurses aid program because it was a quick get my feet in the door, figure out if I want to be a nurse. Then I found out that here at QCC, unlike other colleges in Worcester, they have a waiting program. So you can apply to their nursing program, get on the wait list, and when it comes around, then you start. Where other colleges, you either get accepted or denied. Period.
Boy,
no waiting.
That's fantastic. All right, Amber, it is good to meet you. Thank you so much for all that you are doing here at QCC. Coming up, we're going to talk once again with Paula Ogden, the Director of Veterans Affairs. Want to hear a little bit more about this mentor program. This is QCC's Face the Region on News and Talk Radio, AM 830 WCRN. QCC's Face the Region continues on News and Talk Radio, AM 830 WCRN. We've been talking about Veterans Services this afternoon, and we've been doing it with the help of Seth Mix, veteran, and also a student here at QCC. He's the president of the Veterans Club. Amber Sullivan, also with us, a veteran and a student here at QCC, who's been talking about some of the work that she does with veterans on campus. And Paula Ogden is the Director of Veterans Affairs. And Paula, as we've been talking and as we were just hearing from Amber and Seth, and I want you to tell us a little bit about, clearly here at QCC, something wonderful has developed when it comes to helping the 250 veterans who are here on campus. And it seems as if it really does center on you. You've clearly done a marvelous job, but it seems as if you really have come at it with this mindset of wanting to create this welcoming environment and an environment for the veterans here at the school. How did it all come about?
Well, the Veteran Affairs Department is a fairly new department. We've been in existence a little over 3 years. Prior to me coming into the department, we had a certifying official. That means someone who processes the VA paperwork so that the veteran can get their money while they're attending college. That person, after many years, was retiring. And So what the president of the college did, she did some research and had other folks do research with other colleges in Massachusetts to see what they were offering veterans. And we found that, or she found a lot of schools having veteran centers, really great centers, but they would open the door, let vets in, and then at night lock it up. She wanted to give something back to the vets and offer a one-stop shop. She said, let's try this. So hence a position was created. I applied. Prior to this, I was director of financial aid for 30 years, but I have always been a big veteran supporter. My dad was a Navy CB, so I grew up as a CB daughter and then Navy wife for 25 years. So veteran has been part of my life. Military is part of my life. I've always dealt with the military community.
Right.
So the position basically was a one-stop shop, and I was able to create it. And I think it's successful because I love it. I absolutely love it. I believe the veterans deserve all the help they can get, all the services that we can provide, and I want to do it. I try to run it. I guess I'm like mom or grandma to most of them. Try to make the office something like a mini USO where they feel very comfortable. We provide a set. I'll bake. I mean, they feel comfortable saying, hey, Paula, don't do this anymore.
Were these some of the things that as a Navy wife you experienced in the 25 years on base, some of the ways that you would have liked for things to have been done in the way in which you sort of experienced the military?
Yes, we were a very close-knit community. When the husbands would deploy for 7 months out of a year, we came together, we helped each other, because without the other wives, we wouldn't have made it through. 7 months out of a year. That's a long time to be alone and raise a family and be in a new duty station every 3 years. So having the support, and that's what I want to do, is give the support. And all the staff that work for me, it's like I want to give the support back to the veteran because they've been through a lot, and we owe them a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Seth had mentioned this mentor program, or maybe it was you, Amber, but what is the mentor program?
This was started a couple years ago. As a matter of fact, we started a couple of programs. The mentor program is where we will pair up our freshman veterans with our more senior vets, and we get everybody's permission, and then we give them the emails. We give the senior vets the emails of the freshmen and their name, providing we have the permission. And the senior vet is there to help the freshman vet through anything. It might not even be school related. It could be, gee, I have to file a disability claim with the VA. Do you know where I go? Hey, I'm new to the area. I want to take my wife out to dinner. Or it could be, gee, I'm taking English next semester. What professor would you recommend? So we pair them up as best we can, and it's been working successfully for the past 2 years. Another program that I am proud of, it's called the Textbook Loan Program. The veteran gets, many of the vets get their book money from the VA. Sometimes that could be a very slow process through no fault of us or through the student. It's just sometimes that's how the VA works because they're on overload also. So the student could possibly start school without books. So what I did, this was about 1.5 years ago, I reached out to QCC Family, which means all staff and faculty, and told them that sometimes the vets start school, they don't have their book money yet. Do you have an old textbook that you can donate? And I figured maybe the first year, we'd get about 20 books. We probably have about 200 books. So current students donate their books. We have faculty, we have staff. The deans have been very supportive. The bookstore gave us some books. We've reached out to a publishing company. We've gotten ebooks. So the vet can come in if we happen to have that particular book. They sign it out. They have it for the semester free of charge, and then they just return it next semester at the end of the semester for the following student.
Boy,
so we do have
fantastic.
a lot of books on campus that will help.
All right, we got a couple of minutes left here. I want to make sure that we talk about this great event that is coming up, and this is going to be the new Veteran Center here at QCC, and the grand opening is coming up on November 16th. What is going to be happening at the new Veteran Center?
We are really excited about this. The grant came through, we applied through Student Vets of America, which we are a member of. Our Vets Club is part of that, and Home Depot. They offer where you can apply for a grant, and we had to do a video with Seth, was very instrumental in doing that. We had to fill out spreadsheets, essay questions, just a lot of paperwork for the grant. We were one in 50 colleges in the whole United States to be awarded a $10,000 grant from Home Depot. So the college supplied the room for us, and they're getting it ready with the paint and everything. And we had $10,000 to spend at Home Depot for furniture. Wow. So we're making QCC's USO so the vets can feel that they have a
Wow.
home on campus. And we will all be located. All our offices will be in one spot and the new center.
Congratulations. That's terrific. Seth, grand opening of the Veteran Center coming up. What are you looking forward to with this?
Having everyone in the same place so that there's no opportunity for lack of communication or proper running of the office together. So that if anybody has a question, we don't have to sit on the phone and hope the other one is in the office. We can just knock on the door and say, hey, I have a question about this guy. He's right here. And from there, it'll just be a very personable experience.
Amber, I'll ask you the same thing. I mean, we've got the new Veteran Center that is opening up here on campus. What are you looking forward to with that?
I'm really hoping that everybody comes together more, because some people go up and just deal with Paula directly. Some people come down and talk to us directly. We're hoping that everybody really comes together and we're one big unit at this point.
Yeah, congratulations on the new Veteran Center. Congratulations to all of you, and Paula, especially to you for putting together this marvelous program here at QCC, keeping everybody together in the services that you're providing. And thank you all for coming in and speaking to us about it today.
Thank you.
Greatly appreciated right here on QCC's Face the Region. I'm Hank Stoltz. We do it every week right here on News and Talk Radio, AM 830, WCRN.
This has been Quinsigamond Community College's Face the Region with your host, Hank Stoltz. Join us again next weekend on AM 830 WCRN.